Hey everyone, my name is Abhishek and today we are going to create this. So this beautiful gradient text reveal animation is done in After Effects and this was inspired from the Apple event. So I tried to recreate it and this is the final result. So let's see how to create this. Alright, so right now I'm in After Effects and we'll begin by creating a new composition. So let's call this one main. Width and height will be 1920 by 1080, frame rate 30 fps, and duration you can pick whatever you want. Just click on OK. Now let's create one more composition for our gradient. Let's call this one gradient and rest of the things will remain same. Just click on OK. Now inside the gradient comp we are going to create a solid. So right click new, let's add a solid. You can make it whatever color you want. Just click on OK. Now on this one we are going to apply a couple of gradient effects. So in order to do that I'm going to select this layer, right click, and let's go to layer style. Let's apply gradient overlay. Right away you can see we have this nice gradient. Now if I go inside the gradient overlay, we have this option called edit gradient. So if I click on that, you can see we can edit this and we can add more colors if you want. So I'm going to click in the middle and let's add it over here, and I'm going to set the end colors to be black, and in the middle I want this to be white, and let's click somewhere around here. Now this color we can pick whatever we want. So I'm going to make this little bit pink sort of thing, and let's click one over here, and this one we can make it blue like that. Let's do the same thing over here. Let's click over here and I'm going to pick the color which we have over here. Let's add one more for our blue. Just click and let's pick the color. So let's add it this one. Now let's adjust their position. So I'm going to just grab this and I'm going to just place these right next to each other. We want a little bit of this thing and I want more of black at the edges like that, and in the middle we want this to be like purely white. Just play around with this gradient and you can find out whatever looks good. So I think this looks fine. Just click on OK. Now it's completely up to you. You can pick whatever colors you want. I'm going to use these one. Now in order to make this more even out, we can add an adjustment layer, and let's right click adjustment layer, and on this one I'm going to apply fast box blur. Let's drag it onto this and I'm going to crank this up a little bit so that it will make our gradient a little bit smoother like that. Perfect. Now we can go back to the main comp. Over here we are going to first create our shape. Now it's completely up to you. You can create a square, rectangle, whatever you want. So I'm going to select the rectangle tool. Just click and hold on the shift key. Let's create a perfect square, something like that. Now let's align it to the center. If you're not able to see the align panel, you can go to Windows and from here you can enable it. Now on this one we don't need any kind of color, so we can use the gradient colors itself. So I'm going to select this and let's drag it over here, and I'm going to place it below this. Now we can press R to rotate this. So let's put this at an angle, something like that. Now we can select this and I don't want any kind of stroke, so I'm going to set this to 0. Now we have this and we can press S to scale this down like that. Perfect. Now I'm going to change the track matte of this layer. So we can select this, and if you have the older versions of After Effects, then you won't have these pick whips. Instead you will have alpha inverted like that. So just simply select the alpha matte and you will be good to go. But if you have the newer versions, then you can just simply pick whip and just select this layer like that. Now here you can see we have this very nice gradient. Now we can animate it using the position property. So I'm going to select this. Let's press P. Let's add a keyframe for position and I'm going to move it somewhere around here. Again, it's completely up to you. You can make the gradient come from whatever angle you want. Let's go to somewhere around 2 seconds and I'm going to move it through the screen like that. Perfect. Now if I play back, you can see we have this very nice gradient going across the shape. So before we continue, if you enjoy my work and you want to support me, then you can check out my Patreon page. Over there you will get access to the tutorial project files and exclusive templates that are available only on Patreon. So if you want to support me, make sure to check it out. Link for that is in the description. So let's continue. Now I don't want this area to be completely black. I want one more gradient over here. So in order to do that, I'm going to select this, press Ctrl D to duplicate this. Now I'm going to select this, press U. We don't need any kind of keyframes on that. So I'm going to uncheck these and instead I'm going to just move it like that somewhere around here. Now we can select this and just play around with its position, something like that. So I think this looks good. Now I'm going to select this and I'm going to just parent it to this layer like this. So now you can see we have this very nice gradient reveal like that. Now I don't want this to be like this slow, so we can select the keyframes, press F9 to ease them. Now you can go inside the graph editor. If your graph looks different, then make sure you are using the speed graph, not the value graph. Let's tweak this further. So I'm going to just make it like that, so that it's a little bit faster in the beginning and then it slows down. Perfect. So once we are done with this, we are ready to add some really nice outlines to this. So it's actually quite easy. All we have to do is just simply select this, press Ctrl D. So we have one more layer, and this time I'm going to make this visible like that. Now fill we don't need, so I'm going to click on fill and let's set this to none. Instead, we want the stroke. I'm going to set this to 1. Now we need gradient over here as well. So I'm going to select one of these layers. So let's select this one, which has the keyframes. Press Ctrl D to duplicate this. Let's place it over here. Again, we are going to change its track matte to this layer, which we have over here. Now in the beginning, we can simply select this, press U, and we can play around with its position. Now you can see that we have these very nice gradient over here. Just play around with it however you want, and you can play around with its rotation however you like that. So here you can see we have these very nice outlines and we have our main gradient as well. Now let's play around with its position and let's rotate it like that so that we have this sort of thing. You can also play around with the scale to make it wider or smaller however you want. Let's press R, let's rotate it like that. If you want, you can select this layer and you can increase the amount as well. So if I set this to 2, now you can see that we have a little bit thicker outline. So let's play around with the rotation. Now in the beginning, we want the lines to come first. So I'm going to select this and let's make this closer like that. And we can probably make this appear like that. So here you can see we have these lines. And as soon as we are over here, like that, we can just move it a little bit back so that these areas are again highlighted. Now I can press S to scale these out like that. So here you can see we have these very nice lines coming in. And after that, we have these highlighted edges. Now you can press U and just play around with the keyframes. Let's press F9 to ease them. Perfect. Again, it's completely up to you. You can play around with their speed and position. Now this looks fine. Now let's add some glow. So right click, new, let's add an adjustment layer. And on this one, let's apply glow. Let's drag it onto this. Now you can see that it will make it look something like that. Now we can play around with the radius and let's increase this quite a bit. Now you can see that the glow is too much. We can control it by simply increasing the radius a little bit, and let's decrease the intensity. Now intensity, it's completely up to you. You can just set this to 0.1, 0.2, whatever you want. Now there's one more thing that you can do. So over here we have the color information. So right now it's 32 bits per channel. So if I hold on the Alt key, or you can just simply click on it, and from here you can set this to 8 or 16. So if I set this to 8, just click on OK. Now you can see that it will take the colors a little bit out. Now you can play around with the radius and the amount a little bit more like that. Now if I set this to 16 bits, so you can hold on the Alt key and just click over here. Now you can see that we have this sort of colors. And again, it's completely up to you. You can just go with whatever type of look you want. Let's lower this down and I'm going to increase these a little bit. Or we can maybe switch this to 32 bit. And let's play around with the intensity. So this is completely experimental. You can play around with these values. So here you can see we have this very nice animation. Now we can add our text as well. So it's actually quite easy. Let's select the text tool and you can type whatever you want. Let's type M3, and for font you can pick whatever you want. I'm going to use the Montserrat medium font. Let's apply and place it in the center. Let's move its anchor point to the center. Hold on the Control key and double click on this. Let's press S to scale this down. And on this one, we can apply right click, layer style, and let's add bevel and emboss like that. Now we can select this and let's apply fill to this. Let's search for fill and let's drag it onto this. And we can play around with its color. So in the beginning, I'm going to set the colors to be black like that. So let's press U like this. And as soon as we have this white region over here, we can change its color to a little bit white like that. So you can see in the beginning, we have these very nice outlines. Now you can tweak this further. So let's go inside layer style and we have bevel and emboss. Now you can play around with the size Let's leave it up to this and let's play around with the angle as well. Like that. So here you can see we have this very nice reveal. Now you can play around with the colors as well if you want. So I think this looks fine. Now you can add a background as well. So right click new, let's add a solid and let's make this one black. Like that. Let's place it at the bottom. Now in order to create the background, we can just create a couple of these circles. So let's select the ellipse tool. Now just simply click and hold on the shift key to create a circle. Fill color, you can just pick whatever colors you want. Let's pick the pink color and we don't want this. Let's place it somewhere around here. Now I'm going to select this, press S and let's just uncheck these values and just simply make it look like that. Now we can add some fast box blur to this as well. So let's search for fast box blur, drag it over here, increase the amount like that. Now you can see we have this very nice gradient over here like that. Now you can press T and let's play around with the intensity as well. Let's place one over here. Let's press Ctrl D and let's place one over here, and I'm going to change this to a little bit blue like that. Now over here you can see we are able to see the background, and in order to fix that, what you can do is you can simply select one of these layers. So let's select this one, press Ctrl D and let's place it below everything. Now I'm going to apply fill color to this and let's drag it over here, and I'm going to set its color to black. Now you can play around with this position and just place it like this so that this region will be covered. And since it is already parented, so you can see that we are not able to see anything. Now we can do the same thing in the beginning as well. So we have it over here. Now we can select this and we can press Ctrl D, or we can press S and let's just increase its scale like that. So now if I press play, you can see that we have filled the gap over here as well. So let's keep on adding some colors to the background. So we have these two layers. Now we can add some motion to this by simply pressing P. Let's hold on the Alt key and just click on this. Then type this expression, wiggle 0.1 or 2, comma 200. Let's copy it and just select this, press P and hold on the Alt key, just paste it over here. Now these colors will move in the background like that. Now again you can press Ctrl D to add more colors like that, and we can probably make this one a little bit white. Perfect. So now if I play back, you can see we have created this animation. And the best thing about this is that if you want to change the look of this, it's very easy. If you want to change the text, then select this and just type whatever you want. Now if you want to change the shape of this square, it's actually quite easy. All you have to do is just simply select these shape layers. Let's select this, select this and search for size. Let's uncheck these values and you can play around with the size like that. And now we can change it over here as well. So let's select this, press search for size and uncheck these values. Just copy this value and just change it both on the stroke and the main layer as well. So here you can see now we have added the text and we have changed the shape as well. Again, if you are able to see some gaps, then you can just play around with the scale of this black layer like that. There you go. Now if I press play, you can see we have changed our look and we have added new text. So this is how you can create these kind of beautiful gradient animations. And if you have any queries or questions, then you can ask in the comments below. Also, the project files for this tutorial is available on Patreon. So if you're supporting me over there, then you can download it from there. And if you're not, then you might consider it, because you will get access to the tutorial project files and exclusive templates that are available only on Patreon. So with that being said, my name is Abhishek and I'll see you in the next one.